Hey, what's up, guys? It's Terrell here from Terrell Game Vlogs. I'm going to be my upload schedule on this channel has become like ass, but for those who still watch, I appreciate it. But today is going to be kind of a pseudo societal discussion, more so me ranting. Sorry if I'm not looking at you guys. That's not intentional. I actually probably should do that. It's just very easy for me to like look straight ahead, but you know, I understand it ruins the connection if I don't look at you guys. But anyways, so there's a particular line that most of you probably heard from some type of person that you either care about or you wanted to get closer to, whether it was a friendship or a romance. It doesn't really matter because I've heard it, and I know people who have heard it in both situations, and it never gets any more annoying when I hear it. You don't know the real me, Terrell. You don't know me. Okay, first off, people who fucking say this, you need to understand a few things. The first thing is, if I've known you for a long time and you tell me that I don't know the real you, that tells me two things. Either A, you've been fucking lying to me for years. That's what it's gonna come off as. A, you're fucking lying to me. Or B, you don't feel comfortable around me after 3 or 4 years. And then I guess the third thing is that you're an asshole. You're an asshole who keeps friends around them or acquaintances that they're not really friends with, and rather just have them in their corner instead of just saying, look, we don't really click, we don't really mesh well together, no offense, there's a part of me that I'm not willing to show you. But, you know, people get fucking complacent. You know, you're just kind of like, well, it's not hurting anything to interact with this individual, so why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? Don't fucking do that. I'm serious. People always say that shit when they just don't want to do something. Have you noticed the whole "you don't know the real me" only comes up in a conversation after something relatively either somewhat serious or something that has to deal with trust comes up, and they're like, well, you know, why can't I do da-da-da-da? Why can't we do da-da-da-da? And they're like, it's you just don't know how it would go. It wouldn't be a good idea. It's something that you shouldn't pursue. You don't know the real me. And I'm like, so you essentially just said that to get out of the conversation, because even if you're telling the truth, why would you associate with someone that long or for a decent period of time saying that? I can understand. Now, granted, people only say that for two reasons. They also say that shit to get attention, because then it'd be like, well, what if I want to try to get to know you? You don't want to do that. But they don't make an accurate effort of trying to push you away. They do this like half-assed, but they got the hand out, and if you walk into the hand, then you'll get some resistance, but that's about it. It's not like they're pushing you away. They just got their hand out in front of them, a little bit further out from them than where their face is. Like their face is like this. Oh, I can't let you get too close to me. You can't find out about the real me, Terrell. And I'm just like, bruh, listen, if you gotta tell me that shit, then we don't have to talk, like, at all. Cause I don't want to hear, you don't know the real me. And then if I try to pursue, and then you keep telling me not to pursue it, well, then I'm gonna be like, all right, fine, fuck it, I'm not gonna pursue it. Because if I do pursue it, it feeds into the ego. There's an ego trip that happens when someone tells you they don't know the real you, because they're usually saying it to make themselves seem more appealing as a person. This happens a lot with people who have like social awkwardness and anxiety, or have had shit happen to them, which most people have had shit happen to them. I know some people have had it worse than others, and I'm not denying that some of you have suffered great misfortune in your lives, but at the end of the day, you were not the only motherfucker who suffered some shit. You were not the only person who's had hard times or hard days and nights. You may not even be you're probably not the only one who's thought the thoughts that you're thinking you're so motherfucking original. There are very few things about people nowadays that are actually original. It's just that you're just a slightly different combination of ideas and thoughts versus another person. But I don't know the real you, which is also a lie, because most people are lying. When they say that, it's like, so that would imply, the way they say it, it's like, you know certain parts of me, but you don't know the real me. What the fuck? Like, when you say the real you, the only things that you would be hiding at this point, especially if someone who's known you for years, meaning they've seen you at least in different situations. And I understand if it's like an acquaintance that you only talk to in certain situations, like, oh, that's like the guy or girl you hang out with the movies a lot with. You don't do nothing else, but y'all just go out the movies and y'all have casual conversation. Well, that's a motherfucker who's not gonna bring it up anyway. But if you're talking about someone who's known you, like seeing you at your best and your worst, the only things I can think of that would make sense to say that for is if it's some really like weird shit that you're into. If you notice that shit, like when they say they don't know the real you, it's because of certain personality traits. And every time they say that you don't know the real them, it's always in a negative context, like they're bad people. Like when they say you don't know the real me, you wouldn't like the real me, bitch. First off, if I've known you for this many years and I'm still putting up with your shit, okay, you're lying. Also, and you always think you're so fucking clever. You think you're so fucking clever to say you don't know the real me, as if like you're so much of a multifaceted person, or you're such a good fucking liar and you can hide your real self so easily when you're full of shit. People are full of shit. There are very few people who can actually do what they're saying they can do, and those people are usually somewhere around the lines of being considered psychopaths or fucking schizophrenics, because that's called multiple personality disorder. That's not like a super common disorder, but everybody who fucking says it acts like they're suffering from it, and then they'll be like, oh, I don't have any problems. It's so jarring. And then obviously they'll say it because they're trying to do you a favor, which really just boils down to what it really means, is that you just don't want to do something I'm asking you to do, and instead of just saying it, you want to go through this annoying, and obviously this happens way more in relationships than it does like friendships and shit, because friendships, they just be like, fuck it, they wouldn't even bring it up, they just wouldn't bother with it. But relationships is where it happens the most, and it's primarily usually when someone's trying to get too close emotionally and the person's pushing back. Now realistically, most people understand that they're full of shit, but see, the person still has to be willing to bullshit themselves to let you get close enough for it to be anything. A lot of people just literally just cut themselves off, which is really jarring, because then it just tells me, it's like, so you're willing to try to have relationships, but you want the relationship to stop at a certain point. I don't understand what that means. Like, I don't see the point of what kind of relationship is that. It seems like a relationship that you just want a certain aspect of the relationship and you want nothing else from the relationship. And it's not that you don't want anything else, you're just not emotionally prepared to deal with it. But instead of just saying, I need some time, motherfuckers gotta act like they're on some fucking next level shit. Like there's some type of philosophical reasoning behind everything that they do. People aren't that complex. Some people just do shit for the fucking doing it. That's like my least favorite reasoning for doing something. But that's how human beings are. We flip-flop all the fucking time. But people don't want to own up to that shit. They want to make themselves seem like they're so multifaceted and they're so fucking technical, which is true. Humans can be that way, but in those situations, usually if you're telling me that you're not a good person, that's also the other thing. Like, it always correlates to fucking you don't know the real me and I'm not a good person. Okay, so we shouldn't talk anymore. They're also the kind of people who still want to maintain some type of relationship with you. Now, some people don't. But a lot of them do. They still want to be friends and they still want to be acquaintances and shit, but they just don't want you to go any further in that relationship. Well, that's pitiful from a relationship standpoint and just a friendship. Who the fuck wants a friend that you're only cool with to a certain degree? And not because you choose to be that way, but because they chose for you that they don't want to be any closer than that. That's so unappealing. And so, just to give out my little advice, if they say you don't know the real me, you know what you do at that point? You cut them off. Now, I know people find that kind of harsh, but you gotta understand something. People are full of shit. They're either going, and I mean like legit cut them off. Don't play no fucking games. Don't do this. I'm not gonna talk to you as much shit, because then they'll realize that they can run game on you. Some people do this just for fucking attention. Some people act like they've been so abused and emotionally wronged in their lives that apparently that they use this is the only way they can know to get some type of attention or some type of emotional response from another individual, even if it's not necessarily the person they want to get the emotional response from. They'll fucking play this fucking game like they're a goddamn victim or a terrible person, and a lot of them do it for their egos because they want you to be like, no, you're not a bad person, you're a good person. No, well, actually, no, you're wrong. They are a bad person because they're sitting there telling you they're a bad person so you can sit there and tell them that they're a good person. It's a nasty fucking ego trip, and I hate when people fucking do it because it just shows me how ugly they are. It's like, I know you're saying it because you don't necessarily think you're a terrible person. You may not think highly of yourself, but you probably don't think you're as bad as you're saying you are, but you're doing that to boost your confidence. But unfortunately, the way you're doing it to boost your confidence is at the expense of another individual who legitimately cares about you, and then you're fucking surprised when no one wants to talk to your ass. Well, I wonder why. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that, for one, you don't let anyone get close enough for it to mean any fucking thing. Or two, motherfuckers, two, it's just that you keep, not only do you keep people too far away, but the ones you do care about, you're just not a good person because you have bad traits and you refuse to change. Who the fuck wants to deal with that shit? That's what I'm telling people nowadays. If someone tells you that they're not a good person, you know what you do? You take them literally. All right, fine. And then you just don't talk to them anymore. Because I bet you'll either have one or two situations. One, they'll still want to talk to you because they need the ego trip and they still care. They're just full of shit. But you need to let them know that you ain't full of shit. Like, I'm not going to, don't play that fucking game. Don't play the fucking game, because if you play the fucking game, you lose. And I'm sick of that shit. I'm sick of that. Oh, you try to be nice about it. This is why they keep saying the nice guys finish last. Because girls want you to coddle them, but then treat you like shit about it. When it's like, I'm giving you exactly what you wanted, but here's the thing, that's not helping you, so fuck it. I just don't want to be, at that point, it's a personal thing. I don't want to be bothered by your bullshit when you keep playing these fucking games. But hey, yeah, that's, either A, they'll come back to you, and even then I wouldn't even bother them and say, listen, you need to grow the fuck up. Literally, that's what it turns into. You need to grow the fuck up, and you need to get your shit together. Or two, they just don't talk to you at all. In which case, it proves the fucking point that they were full of shit. They were full of shit. They were full of shit. They realized that shows you how much they actually cared about your friendship or companionship if they just don't talk to you anymore. Because some people do that. It's so jarring, and I've met girls that do this shit. They'll sit there and claim that these other girls are their best friends, and you never fucking see them hang out. They're never hanging out. They're never talking and shit. And then they graduate, and you'll say something in passing like, "Oh, how's so and so? I know you guys were tight. Oh, I don't know. I haven't talked to her in 6 months. Oh yeah, you're so fucking tight. Fucking, I swear, people do this all the fucking time. Why do people think this shit is attractive? It's not. But then again, maybe you're not doing it to be attractive. Maybe you're just doing it to get the fucking attention. Maybe, and that's really what it boils down to. They just want the fucking attention. I need you to sit there and coddle me and give me praise and treat me like a fucking baby and tell me how cool and great I am because I'm too fucking weak-minded to just be a better person naturally. It's not like I'm talking about getting over a life-threatening disease. And granted, diseases of the mind are considered to be just as threatening as diseases of the body, primarily because people, it's a worse struggle because you can't physically see progress. But I'll be honest with you, your loved ones will let you know if there's progress or not. But that's just something I just want to fucking talk about, the whole, you don't know the real me. Well, fine, fuck it. I don't know the real you, bye. That's it. I'm serious, that's what it's gotten to. Bye. Because you get tired of it. You get tired of hearing that shit. I'm not, see, as a guy who sits here and collects figurines and various types of manga and fucking video games and fucking movies and Comic-Con shit, I think I'm a little bit too motherfucking mature to be dealing with these fucking 5-year-olds who act like bitches about dumb shit. You want to talk about how bad of a person you are so you can get a fucking ego trip for me to disagree with you and say, no, you're not, you're such a good person, fuck you. You are a bad person because not only have you lied to me for however long I've known you, but not only have you lied to me, but you've also wasted my fucking time because you're a terrible person who leads people on for years, making them think something as basic as, oh, we can have a normal, just gradual friendship or a relationship, whichever which it was supposed to be, and it just blows up in your fucking face because you don't know the real them. Good. I'm glad I don't. The fake you was more entertaining anyway. Fuck. Jeez. Yeah, it's just a little rant. Fucking. You don't know me. That's not my. That's my purse. That's 50. I give you 25 points if you know where the fuck that's from. That's my purse. You don't know me. Oh shit! I love that line. I can't sing the rest of it because it gives it away. It's like, you don't know me. That's not my purse. I mean, that's my purse. Anyways, leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, all that in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch yous all later. Vlogs again for your boy Terrell. Peace.